Hey, NEWSA-Cast listeners, you can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Please help us grow by subscribing or sharing the NEWSA-Cast with friends, or follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, or Instagram. Now, let's get this show on the road.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the NEWSA-Cast. What is a NEWSA-Cast? It's where we bring local folk stories to life through conversation.
All right, NEWSA-Cast listeners, welcome to what turns out to be the end of the year episode and episode 26. We're so happy that you've continued to be on this journey with us. And hopefully you're getting some good information from us. You're learning some stories from people and just enjoying Northeast Wisconsin and what we're putting out. So, Joe, welcome to episode 26 and the end of the year.
Hey, Tosh, I appreciate it. You know, it made me think that I can now actually put an official check mark and I've completed a New Year's resolution. Help start a podcast, get it through till the end of the year. And we did it. Happy New Year. Yeah,
this is good stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, when we first started, I didn't know how long this would actually go. And 26 episodes in is pretty cool. And I've learned a lot in these 26 episodes as well. It's definitely something that you know everybody has a story, but you don't know the story that everybody has until you sit down and listen.
I don't know what's more amazing. I mean, we've learned a ton just about podcasting because it's you think you know what you're doing, but you really don't know what you're doing. And we still don't really know what we're doing. Man, there's a lot to it. But you're right. Just from a standpoint of the people that we've talked to and the people that we've met and heard their stories, absolutely mind-blowing. And dude, they live right in our backyard. They're our neighbors. Incredible.
Yeah, you know what? You don't have to go to a big city to have some pretty incredible stories from people. Right here in Appleton, 77,000 people. Our whole community of the Fox Valleys, 200 and some thousand people. It's incredible what people have done and are doing in our community. And to just understand that and think about it and just realize what's happening if you just look around, I think we're providing a service to people.
I hope so. I mean, I hope people are listening to it. I don't know if it's 10 or 6 or 106, but it's somewhere in there. People are actually listening to us. But you're right. That's just kind of why we wanted to do this. I mean, we during the Red Smith banquets, we would highlight certain people. We'd bring like a Maddie Wanamaker in, maybe recognize her 1 year, but to actually be able to sit down. And for those of you that don't know, Maddie was one of our first interviews. Maddie's an Olympic rower. She's an Olympian. She's from Neenah, Wisconsin. She's a frickin' Olympian. It's just, that still blows me away that you and I talk to Olympians that live in this area. It's just
absolutely.
That kind of thing is nuts. And to be able to just learn about her, just talk to her, just talk to her, and then just have that be recorded and share that with everybody. That's kind of what the NEWSA-Cast is. And I think it's turning out okay. It's at least, I don't know, you and I are having fun doing it, learning.
Yeah. Speaking of turning out okay, the weather's turned out okay with you this week, huh?
Yeah, not bad. Unbelievable. Boy, I mean, Christmas, you can almost wear shorts. It was just nuts. The nice thing is, Tosh, no wind. It's been kind of balmy from that standpoint.
It is. We had 2 record days, 2 record highs on Christmas and the day after. So for a mailman like you, definitely had to be good. For somebody who has an ice rink in their backyard, which is now a duck pond, it's not that good. But it'll change, and we'll get some ice at some point. And I'm sure this weather will be a little bit different. But I will have to say I'm glad we're not getting the blizzard in the plains. I'd rather have this than a massive blizzard over Christmas. So
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about a brown Christmas, but short of a bird bath in your backyard, how was your Christmas? You guys have a good one?
yeah, it was good. Went out to the farm in Reedsville and got to see some family. FaceTimed with my family in Sarasota, so got to see them as well. So yeah, it's good having the boys home. Will being home from college now until
Yeah.
like February actually, and just having everybody together is always a good time. How about yourself, Joe? What did you guys end up doing?
Yeah, I ended up having to work Christmas Eve, kind of late, so I was tired, so I actually didn't do a whole lot Christmas Eve, but had a great Christmas. Hung out with the kids. Took Sully, Katie's dog. Sully is a great golden retriever. Took him on a long walk through out around Thrivent, and then Amelia and I had fun. Went to see Wonka with with Amelia. And that was actually pretty good. I haven't been to a movie in a while, and I enjoyed it. Kids got
That's
a nice
awesome.
voice, and it was a nice story. So
Well, good.
a good Christmas, and then back at it today delivering
Speaking of
mail.
movies, we sat down and watched Oppenheimer, and that was absolutely fascinating. Fantastic movie. If you have, I know it's long. You have to take 3 hours out of your life to go sit down and watch it, but fantastic movie, good story. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
Is it? Where'd you watch it? In the theater? It's in the theater anymore? It's probably.
I got it for my birthday, so we watched it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
in the comfort of our own home.
No, I love that. I wish I wanted to see it in the theater, and it's definitely on my watch list. That is for sure. Well, Tosh, it is. It's almost New Year's. I know. Start thinking about resolutions and things like that, and I know you and I have some resolutions about the NEWSA-Cast, and we thought, what better way to maybe talk about the NEWSA-Cast and bring on our producer, our editor, Taylor. I know we mention him from time to time, but I don't think we've actually ever had him on the NEWSA-Cast. I don't think we've ever actually talked to him on the NEWSA-Cast, have we?
I don't think so. We've talked about him, but not with him. So
that's right. Should we bring him on?
Yeah, let's bring Taylor on.
Taylor laughs as we try to maneuver the technology.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
We're good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on. Unofficially, it's not like the normal interview that we normally have on the NEWSA-Cast, but I appreciate you guys wanting me on. You may recognize my voice from the very, very intro. What is a NEWSA-Cast? I know Joe has dropped my name from time to time, but I enjoy editing and producing this podcast and other of our broadcasts. But I love to create things. It brings me joy to put things together to present to people, and especially to all of our listeners, the stories that you guys bring to all of us.
Taylor kind of hit on it. I should have mentioned this before we brought you on, that you're right. We usually do have an interview, really cool interview like Tosh and I talk about, but like we said, let's bring Taylor on. Let's have an interview with Taylor. Let's talk about, let's interview the NEWSA-Cast and see what the NEWSA-Cast has to say.
I feel like I'm lucky. I'm the one that gets to listen to everything first before everyone, and kind of get it in a nice little wrapped bow for everyone. But I'm also learning and discovering people and organizations that are truly right here in Northeast Wisconsin. A lot of which that honestly I never even heard or really gotten to know about before doing this. So doing the production on this podcast kind of has opened my eyes. And sometimes I think if I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have realized and discovered some of these things that are right in our neck of the woods.
First of all, I have to say thank you, Taylor, because without you, this wouldn't be a podcast, because we had no clue what we're doing. So your expertise has definitely helped us out tremendously. And we're very happy and very lucky to have you involved in this.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And that makes three of us. Maybe we, we're just getting started, I think, here. And, we've got our feet wet, and I think we've got a really good thing going here. I enjoy it. I love making this for everyone. I enjoy listening to it myself. I get all my friends and family to listen and watch too. So everyone's excited about this. I hope everyone out there is too. But this is Joe and Tosh's show. Just in case you see or hear my voice again, you'll know who I am and I guess what I do.
It's our show. It's always been our show. And yeah, man, what is a NEWSA-Cast? What is a NEWSA-Cast?
We're the folks at bringing all these stories to life, right?
Truly, yes. I mean, that's the cool thing. I mean, I've said it once already, but that is the cool thing for us. And maybe the thing, I mean, I knew when we started talking about this idea that the interviews would be fun, but I never really realized how much enjoyment I get out of just everybody that we've talked to. I literally have loved every single interview that we've had. And I mean, Tosh, you and I can see the little recording number up there. And I swear to God, it's 45 minutes before I look up almost on every single guest that we've ever had. It's like, holy cow. And I feel like that we've just begun, getting into these things. It's unbelievable how fast the time goes and how enjoyable it is just to talk to these people.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. Some of these interviews have just gone by and you're like, we could sit and interview him for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
But,
and then you remember me having to
exactly. That's the truth. Because it hits about that hour point and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a lot for Taylor. But we keep going, try to keep people's time in consideration. But yeah, they've been pretty interesting. Not pretty. They've been very interesting. I think that's one of the things that people have told me is that they just like the fact that we're just sitting down talking. And
right.
People are kind of spilling their stories to us, which is always a good compliment.
Yeah, that's huge. And we joke about it, but we're not professionals. I don't know how to be a professional interviewer, but you and I know how to have a conversation. And that ultimately, I feel like, I think that's what, not to pat ourselves on the back, but I think that is probably what our strength is that we just basically shoot the breeze with people. We don't put any pressure on. We're not after any kind of story. It's literally, I'm talking to somebody no different than I'd talk to them into a bar, grocery store.
Yeah, I think the time is a consideration for our guests, but sometimes you just have to let the conversation roll and let the guest talk. And I love that about our guests and our interviews. People just are able to open up and tell their story. And I mean, we've said that 100 times, but it's true. And that's what's fascinating and interesting about all these people that have come on the NEWSA-Cast. So I love the candidness of our guests. I love how they open up and really talk about, feelings and experiences. But that comes from you guys too. You guys ask great questions, kind of not in a intrusive way, but you're just like, hey, how does that feel for you? How does that work for you? And that just the answers from the guests just naturally come out. And I think that really shows. And I think that's one of our strengths. So kudos to you guys. You guys do a great job of that. And then the guests do the rest of the great work. So
yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And we never really, Tosh and I never think about time. To us, time is irrelevant. Sometimes a NEWSA-Cast, and I think that probably comes from influences like Joe Rogan, Mark Maron, really, pardon my take, even in any of those, the Chicklets, all of their podcasts, the time could be an hour and 10 minutes, or it could be 3 hours and 40 minutes on any given day. And it's all about, that's why the timestamps are in the description, right? If you only want to hear one specific interview, zip, it's laid out for you. Just go right to that time and listen to it. Make sure you download and you just want to make sure you download, right? Like download like I don't know, 3, 4, 5 times. Have your parents download, your brothers, your sisters.
Yeah, grab your parents' phones. Get no, but
That's a real thing too.
yes, it definitely can be. But we're still young. We're still getting some great traction on social media and building our audience. And as we end 2023 here, we are looking forward to growing it exponentially in 2024. And there's no signs that we won't do that. Everyone's been great in accepting this and spreading the word already, so we thank you for doing that. But yeah, continue listening, continue telling a friend, suggesting it to all of your family, or anyone else who's interested in anything we're doing here, because we have a lot of different kinds of guests, obviously, and a lot of different topics to kind of go over. So I'm excited for 2024, guys. Like I don't find out a lot of the schedule, so I kind of look forward to hearing who we have coming up.
You don't get the schedule?
Well, not until until I need to know. I'm on a need to know basis.
It's true.
But I love it. I'll see some stuff recorded and I'll be like, oh, we got so and so on, and that's cool. I can't wait to listen to that one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You guys do a great job of getting guests, getting relevant people on the podcast to highlight certain things around the Valley and the Fox Cities that's really worth listening to. So I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, most people are really receptive to coming onto the podcast. That they want to, I think, and I think once they get on, I think everybody's had a really good experience for sure. And I'm excited coming up. We've got a couple of really good names coming up. Some really good ideas that people are reaching out to. So I think the guest list is just going to explode. We're going to have a really good 2024 with finding some really super interesting people. And the nice thing is too, we'll go back and revisit some of the people. I mean, we'll go back and talk to Maddie and CJ Ike. I went back. It's funny. In preparation for today's show, I went back and listened to our very first episode with CJ. And that was fun to go back and listen to. But I mean, what a great, I know you're going to ask you a little bit later some of our favorite episodes, and the very first one was CJ. I mean, there's a prime example. That's exactly what this podcast is. Super awesome story. Kid goes, 15, 16 years old, goes off and plays, professional youth hockey, works his way up the ranks and is making a career out of it. Went to Appleton East. Tosh was his teacher. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's a great story. I love that.
Yeah. And I think the more that we do this and the more people hear, the more people are willing to come on as well. Because it's not threatening. We're not looking for a big news break or anything like that. We just want people to hear their story. So I hope, all those listeners out there, you have a good story as well. We are always looking for suggestions, and just email us. Let us know if you have somebody in mind that you think would be a good person to be on the podcast. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. That's and if anyone needs the email, it's NEWSA-Cast@gmail.com. Just shoot us a message. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
Myself, I'm not just a tech nerd guy, but I did grow up in the Valley here, and I did do sports when I was young. I started my tech producing kind of like venture in my own podcast that I do with my friend. It's Tay and Ren. We do the Packer Universe podcast. I'm sporting a new shirt this
I like
time
that.
around.
I see that.
I got that going on. I got a lot of green and gold in here. But I did grow up playing. I played t-ball. I played soccer in various FVA leagues. I did football in junior high school. I joined the swim team in sophomore year to senior year in Neenah High School. I even went to state in backstroke, the 100-yard backstroke. Went to state that year, my senior year. So I had a little bit of sports under my belt, coming out and being an adult, but my passion lies in mainly the Packers and NFL football. But I have touched on other sports before in my history.
Sure.
When my daughter was growing up, I put her into sports. She did flag football. She did soccer. We went to the Y a bunch. She also did swim team at Appleton West for her 4 years of high school. So that was important to me. She wanted to do it on her own, but I'm glad she did that. But I think like we've heard this message before on the show, on the podcast. But I think participating in sports, is great at helping you prepare in life. And I wholeheartedly believe that you should experience some sort of organized team activity in your life. Like it's such a good foundation builder. If you have a chance to put your kids in sports, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's the sport you played or want them to play, but they won't regret it. And you won't either. And I think it's a great thing to show, have that as an experience for yourself. Even if you're older now, you think you're past your prime or whatever. There's tons of pickleball people I see out there all the time doing it. Like people are still doing sports. They're discovering it now as they get older. So if you think you missed out on something, you haven't. There are things out there for you still. So don't be afraid. Join a sport. But when we look at kids and youth sports, it's so important. It shapes these kids for the rest of their lives in a really positive way. So I've experienced that myself. I let my daughter experience that, and I think that just, in my opinion, has helped us be better people in general.
No, well said.
I think if you look back, even look at socialization skills, you look at once you start looking at like attendance in schools and things like that, the more you're involved and the more you're doing things, the better off you're going to be. And we see that all over. We see it in statistics. So getting kids involved, just get them involved, and the rest will play out. I think it's really, really important. And I think we hear that from a lot of our guests that we've talked to about the multiple things that they're doing as they're growing up.
Yeah, just about right. You're right, Tosh. Just about every single person has said that they've played multiple sports, have done multiple something. And I can't help but think too, everything you were saying, Taylor, it's 100% true. And as a parent too,
yeah,
you got to let your kids fail. It's okay for the kids to fail. And it's such a good lesson for the parents too. But man, there's just, if you want the quickest way to success, just fail.
It's a tough thing to deliberately do or something, but it's necessary. You have to fall to get back up. And you have to have context of what you're doing.
Yeah.
You have to know the boundaries to set, the goals to achieve. You have to know where you're coming from, where you're going. It's all meshed together, and you can't do that without failing. So sports, although winning is great, it also provides some lifelong lessons.
Well, you know what they say, it takes a big man to cry, but it takes an even bigger man to laugh at that man crying.
Well, with that, Joe, here I'm on board this episode here, so I'm going to move us along here. I'm glad I'm here because I can join in with you guys on the segments this time. Let's take an old look at new. Sorry to steal your thunder, Tosh, on the intro.
No, that's okay.
No, that's all right. We need direction. We need direction.
But the old look at new is the that segment where we take a look at Northeast Wisconsin, see if anything has happened, in the past that is worthy of recognition. But we kind of spread that out to Wisconsin, the United States, sometimes the world. But try to get a little pinpoint action on the Northeast Wisconsin area. I will throw it over to you, Tosh. Tosh, what do you have today?
All right. So we're recording this on December 26th. I'm going back to a little look in the United States. I am a baseball guy. December 26th, 1919, something happened that changed the course of two huge franchises in baseball. And December 26th, 1919, the Yankees came into agreement with the Boston Red Sox to have Babe Ruth become a Yankee.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
that is, if you look at baseball stories,
as a pitcher,
that is the baseball story right there. That is a huge, huge, you hear about the curse of Ruth and everything else. That is a big one. And that happened this date in 1919.
Yeah. Could you imagine, man, Babe Ruth? Could you imagine being Babe Ruth? How great of a life would that be? His workout routine.
Well, I think if when you look at, I'm not a huge baseball fan, but when I look back at baseball, or I look at baseball from a kind of a pulled out third party viewpoint, Babe Ruth is the top, like in the top three most influential people or players ever to do the game. It stands to reason that that's a huge pivotal moment in baseball. 1919. When you said that, I was like, oh, is this going to be Packers? I know it's going to be Nope. But that's great.
No,
hey, if you get a candy bar named after you, you're doing pretty well.
1919 in Green Bay was pretty big too, though.
Just going back, that really changed the New York Yankees, and it changed the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox really struggled all the way up until they finally won the World Series again. And gosh, I can't even remember what year that was, but 2000.
Is that why they hate each other?
That might be one of the reasons why they hate each other. Yes.
Over 100 years of animosity.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, that was mine. I'm going to throw it at Joe then.
Yeah, mine's a little bit more of a shout out, but I think appropriate for an old look at new. And it's a 50-year-old business that it's going to be closing their doors here shortly. And that's Joseph Shoes in downtown Appleton. Actually started in 1971 in Kaukauna. And I remember going to the Kaukauna store with my parents, not to show my age, but about 35 years they've been in the downtown location, which is pretty cool in Appleton. It's being renovated right now, and it's going to turn, I don't even know what they're calling it right now, but kind of a new, that whole mall and that whole couple of block area downtown is going to be renovated. And it looks like it's going to be pretty cool once it's all said and done. But Joseph Shoes, it's Perry, who's Perry Vanderloop's owned the place for, his dad started it, and he's taken it over. God, I think he said he's been in business 30, 35, 40 years. So a salute to them for sure, a staple downtown, and there's not many good old downtown shoe stores anymore.
No, I think the only one I know about is there's a cobbler shop down on the west side. I don't know if they actually sell shoes there.
They're awesome.
But, I think like the days of Rogan's shoes and all that is slowly coming to the end.
It is, and the smell of a shoe store, there's nothing better.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you're going with that.
No, like new shoes. Old shoes. Yeah, well, that's a different smell for sure. But that leather and just a good. Like you talk about the cobbler shop though too. I was in there today, and it's that's got a great smell too.
Yeah.
Taylor, where are you? Where are you going to take us in an old look at new?
Well, I think you kind of know what I'll probably say, or which sport I will pick to look back on. But this is
curling.
Maybe next time. I had to do this one because it's today. We are recording this on the 26th of December, and this marks the 30th anniversary of the Lambeau Leap. I don't know if you guys caught that on any social media today.
I was at that game.
You were. So that was December 26th, 1993 against the LA Raiders here, obviously in Lambeau Field. But Leroy Butler.
Very cold that day.
Yeah, it was very cold. It was 0 degrees I think it was like, I don't know, -20 wind chill.
Yeah.
But Leroy Butler performed the first Lambeau Leap back then. And I think you guys will remember the play, but it was a pass from the Raiders quarterback to, I think, a running back. I think Bryce Pop tackled the guy. Or no, it was Leroy Butler tackled him, kind of flipped the ball out. Reggie caught it. Reggie White starts running towards the end zone, but he gets tackled, almost going out of bounds. He's looking back, made eye contact with Leroy Butler. Leroy comes towards his direction. Reggie throws him the ball, and he just keeps running, and he decides to go right into the stands, making history. That was 30 years ago. Can you believe that? That's nuts. Wow. But, this moment wasn't just great for fans and players that like to do it, but this was the kind of like pivotal moment for the Packers because they clinched a playoff berth that year with that game, the first one in like 11 years. And this really kind of sent them off into that greatness phase era that we have now. And, with the Favre, with Sterling Sharp, with Reggie White, obviously Leroy Butler, and they went on to win, or go to 2 Super Bowls, win one in the mid-90s. But this is kind of like that starting point where, not only was the team getting good and rolling forward, but now you have something that the fans can look forward to and engage with. Really one of a kind thing. And that was 30 years ago. So today, so I had to bring it up, even though, I'm a huge Packer guy. But I just had to bring that one up.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. I can still vividly remember that play. And you're right, that is a good assessment. That was definitely, they were ascending up. That was a huge game. You're right. They had, in the very near future, off of those plays, they would have had some devastating losses to Dallas. That was tough. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys were the team to beat back then during that time frame. But yeah, they were definitely, man, to have Reggie White come to the Green Bay Packers was just shocking. Could not believe that happened.
Yep. That was game changing too for the Packers as well. So a lot of things were happening in the early mid 90s that just kind of came together at the right time. And we're still in that era. I think, the Packers could get to the playoffs this year, maybe, but I think with the Love transition, new era there, future's unknown, but we could continue this, 30 plus year reign of good Packers football. So, this is kind of at the beginning of that. So it's definitely a treasure, I think, for all of us Packers fans.
So that play you just described, what is the one key component to that this current Packer team doesn't have? And it starts with a D.
Yeah, that play was on defense, and that's what we need now.
And that's why the teams, Favre was awesome. The offense was terrific, but the defense is really, really what set the tone for those teams in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely. You need some help there for sure. Something we're lacking at the moment.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you guys letting me come along for the old look at new. I wanted to do something while I was on here, and this can, I guess, be an exercise with us, but the audience can follow along with it as well. But I wanted to ask you guys, as the year ended here, we're 6 months in to the NEWSA-Cast. This is episode 26, and we've had a ton of awesome, exciting people on. Either as guests or interviews. Even all of our throwback segments have been awesome and great. So looking back on the 25 episodes, I wanted to ask you guys individually, what 3 interviews have we had on the NEWSA-Cast this year that new listeners should go back and listen to sometime, and why? Why would you choose those three episodes?
Take it away, Tosh.
Oh, geez. I think I'll go with my first one. Was a fantastic interview, and that was Joe Vandenacker from Lawrence. And I think you should go back because I didn't know the history. I coached at Lawrence for 10 years, and I didn't know the history that Joe Vandenacker does We
There's
have
a
a
creek
great
that runs under.
Yeah.
Remember the river that runs under the Bonteball?
yeah, and just knowing their history and some of the things that they're doing now to increase their sports presence is pretty incredible at Lawrence University. And we have a great opportunity. I mean, 7% of all high school athletes go on to play some sort of college. And we have a D3 program that has, I mean, in the past been very good, but you're seeing athletes who are competing at a collegiate level. And most of the time you can get in for free. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that we have this right in Appleton. So that interview with Joe Vandenacker was fantastic. Lots of history. You want to learn some more about Lawrence? That was the interview to listen to right there.
Yeah, that was a good one, Tosh. You know, Taylor, you did actually bring up a really good point. You'd mentioned the YouTube, the throwbacks, and you get, I don't know, what do you get, about half of the throwback in the podcast, and then the full episode on Sundays. But those, I mean, all of our interviews, it's a really tough question to answer because I've literally loved every single interview we've done. But what it's really surprised me more than anything is the throwbacks. Because, I mean, I had been to those banquets, but I haven't gone back and listened to almost any of these. So I get excited every single Thursday to hear them. And like the Chi Rodriguez one that came out last week. Oh my God. Chi was, I didn't remember him being that funny, but I was literally laughing out loud as I was listening to him the other day. It was incredible.
Yeah, definitely. So you're using one of them as the throwbacks in general, Joe?
Well, now that you say it that way, yeah, I think I could actually. It's such a hard question to find three because I literally do love them all, but I think you're right. I think a throwback, it's definitely worth mentioning that it's its own thing. You know, go on YouTube, throw those on and just listen. I mean, they're just funny. They're just funny to hear. And some are better than others. Vern Lundquist, another great one. Guys that can really just tell the stories that are really good, like after dinner speakers. But I'd start with Chi Rodriguez. That was epic.
Tosh, what do you got for number 2?
Well, like Joe said, I think it's kind of tough. I mean, all these interviews have been amazing. And if you want to hear some stuff about some great people, listen to them all. Come back and listen to everything. But it really wasn't in the paper. I saw it on social media. People should go back and listen to Jackson Armstrong. His team just won or took silver in the World Junior Curling Championships in the B pool. So they qualify now for the A pool, and they're going back to Finland in February to compete for the World Junior Curling Championship.
Nice.
So it was a great story. He has a lot of interesting things talking about curling growing up, talking about playing sports and football, and getting accepted into medical school and having to take a year off so he could curl. So
wow.
that was a good episode. And he's right in the middle of probably preparing for those World A tournaments in Finland again. So get to go to Finland twice in 3 months. Kind of nice.
No, that's so awesome too, Tosh, to see how well he's doing. And again, there's, guys from Neenah, he curls right on
Kimberly.
West Hill Boulevard or Kimberly. I'm sorry.
Metropolis.
It's red. But he curls right on West Hill Boulevard, right at the curling club. I mean, it's nuts, and it's so cool to see that. Well, Tash, mine, again, it's so hard to choose, but I think this might have been the most fun I had doing the NEWSA-Cast. Do you remember when you and I went up to Tim's fly fishing shop and Taylor lent us some mobile equipment? It was the first time we ever took the NEWSA-Cast on the road. Though I have to warn you, the audio, that's probably, and it was no fault of Taylor's at all. It was just, we just didn't get good audio. Just our setup, it was not very good. But God, that was so much fun. And there's a guy too. I didn't know anything about. Tosh knows fly fishing, and you know, we learned about the Menominee River and the coalition that's up there, and we learned about life, and just we talked about. It was one of those NEWSA-Cast interviews where it kind of went all over the place, and those are the kind that I love. You know, you start talking fly fishing, and God knows where we ended up talking about, but it was just that was a fun day going to his shop, and I still wear his, you know, his deadhead fly fishing shirt. It's
Nice.
I love. Yeah,
Yep.
it was that was a fun day. That really was.
That is good. That was a good one. That was a lot of fun being up at the shop and just talking about growing up, being outdoors, and just you know, getting you know, getting kids outdoors and doing things instead of being on the computer or being on the video games and stuff like that. Just experiencing what this
Right.
earth has to offer. So that was cool. Yeah, absolutely. All right, back to me.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to stay in the theme about people you should know in this area. And again, this was an excellent interview. A very well-spoken young lady, and that Joe mentioned her earlier, Maddie Wanamaker, who qualified for the Paris Olympics in 2024. I mean, what a fantastic story that is. I actually would love to get her back on before the Olympics here. I'm working on that, talking to her dad, and seeing if if he knows of a time. I'm just going to have to sit down and probably send her an email here. But yeah, I mean, this will be her second Olympics. She's a 2-time Olympian in Tokyo and Paris. And just a fantastic story.
Taylor, I don't know what to pick for my last one because I'm going through the list, and it dawns on me that I think here's what my choice is going to be. It's going to be variety, because there is a huge variety of the people that we talk to. I mean, we talked to, like, I loved when we talked to Sean Becker from the Aaron's Nordic Center. One, I had no idea that the Aaron's Nordic Center even existed, and all of a sudden we find out about this just magical place that's, you know, stone's throw from. It's in Brillion, Wisconsin. It's a training center. It's a, you know, you can cross country ski. It's lit. But Sean makes the snow. This is a world-class facility. And to talk to somebody about that, I mean, that's where else are you going to find that kind of information? And then, you know, we had Corey Otis and Eric Stadler from those guys do all the parades. Any parade that's in Appleton, the Flag Day Parade, Memorial Day Parade, Christmas Parade, you know, those guys, their team, their crew, they're the ones that are putting it together. You know, Mile of Music, probably our favorite weekend, Tasha's and our favorite weekend here in the area. And, you know, we just had Dave Willems on, and we talked more than just Mile of Music. We just kind of got into Dave's brain. So I think that's kind of I guess that's going to be my third pick, is just the variety that we have. It's not, although sports is in our name, it's way more than sports. It's really about community, and it's about the people that we find, and just digging into their head and into their stories, and just learning about them. And there's going to be more of those people too. They're going to be in sports, and they're going to be, you know, they're going to be a part of events that maybe aren't sports related, but stuff that's a part of our community, our fabric, that kind of set the vibe for our community. So that's what I'm going with for my third one.
What I have asked is, Taylor, you've listened to every single one of these and you've cut them apart. Do you have a
Great
couple that
question.
stand out?
Well, it's a good thing
In your head?
It's a good thing I know you, Tosh, now, and I did prepare for this the retort.
Tosh always keeps us back online.
Yeah, he does. He does. No, I all the ones you said are great, and like, you know, like the fly fishing, like I don't know. From my perspective, yes, I've fished in my life, but like, oh yeah, that's a thing. It's out there. People do that a lot, and this Tim is a guy who can organize and show you the way, and it's out there and respects nature, and it's just an all encompassing great experience, and I love that he's up there doing his thing. And yeah, I think I do have two that I kind of noted here, and one of them was episode 9, Good Call, talking with the refs. And that offered, and Joe was kind of highlighted there because it was him and his team that came on, and or at least a couple of the guys, and just offered a unique perspective on sports that you don't ever even think about. It's, the guys in stripes, the guys that have to be there to make the game fair, equal, and that make it go, quite frankly, and you need them. And to get their perspective on it was awesome and just eye-opening, refreshing, and different. Like, oh yeah, like let's talk to some refs about sports, like from their perspective. It was awesome. I'm glad you guys did that. I would even do that again sometime just to hear more stories, because that's where you get these refs like yourself, Joe, who are there at most games every week. They're seeing so many game situations. They're seeing so many parents. They're seeing so many different teams going at each other. That it's a unique experience every time. There's always something interesting, and you learn a lot from their perspective. And I think that was super unique. And so that was one of mine. The other one would be the Discovery Night. Joe and Tosh went live to the Discovery Night out at the Community First Champion Center, and they walked around and discovered some sports right here in Northeast Wisconsin that we didn't even know about ourselves. So that was so, again, eye-opening and fun to even for us to discover that you have, was it hurling and the roller derby gals,
roller derby, yeah,
and all
that was fun.
Yeah, all this stuff that's like, this is here. People are playing these sports, and these sports are maybe outliers. They're fringe sports, but they do exist. And if you're interested in them, they're out there for you. And I think that was great. It literally was a discovery night for us and a lot of people, I think. And so I love that you guys went out there. I can't wait for next year because it's going to be great. Maybe we can add video or something to it. Who knows? But I love that. And I guess so those 2 episodes I wanted to highlight because of their unique perspectives and kind of shining light on sports in the area that from a perspective that you don't usually get. So that's why I named those 2.
The Discovery Night was going to be my honorable mention because that was a lot of fun doing that. Tosh, that was so much fun walking around and holding the microphone, and we talked to the lacrosse guys and the roller derby girls were fun, and the hockey, just that facility too. I'd never been in there before. That was beautiful, and that was cool. I hope they do that again. I can see that. I hope it's a good idea. I think it might take a year or 2 maybe to kind of get it out there, the word out there, kind of understand what it is. But if it's there, we'll go back.
Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you guys doing that with me. I just want to kind of just like recap and look back on this year, this last 6 months of us doing this, and reflect on some really good stuff and recommendations for new listeners that are coming into 2024. Maybe something to go back and look at and to listen to. So that was great. I really appreciate that. Again, all of our interviews are great. These weren't necessarily favorites, but these are like, hey, you should go check this out because this is something special and we don't want you to miss this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad we all picked something a little different as well, because we each have our own kind of niche and things that we're interested in. So that's going to help people. Yeah, slide in and listen to some good episodes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Now it's time for our favorite segment. It's wait.
What is it?
Let's see if I can get it right.
The test, the true test.
It's forgotten. No, wait. It's forgotten, and I'm never forgetting.
That's
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Yes,
It is.
Yes,
Yeah.
the segment where we want to forget something, and then we also want to never forget something. So something that we just want to crumple up and throw over our shoulder and be gone, and then something that we just want to keep in front of us to look at, to experience going forward indefinitely, right? So
Right.
I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know if I have great ones, but we will see. But I'm gonna throw it over to Tosh. Tosh, what are you forgetting?
All right. Thing I want to forget is just the craziness of Christmas. I know it always comes, and I know it's always going to be there. We try to get our shopping and get our stuff done so we don't have to get out there. But I did have to run out
Christmas
late
Eve,
this year.
Christmas Eve.
And not Christmas Eve, the day before. So my son and I went out to Shields, and that was a huge mistake. That I can't
on a
believe.
Saturday. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's absolutely incredible how crazy that place is.
Did you sharpen
is.
your elbows and get your pads on?
You know, Shields did a great job. They had people directing traffic inside the store. They had, you got cash, you got card, go here, go here. They did a nice job, but we made it out alive. Ethan and I didn't have any bruises or anything like that. So, but I don't want to do that again. So that's my forgotten. I get it out of here.
At least until next year, right, Tosh?
No, I am burning that into my memory that it's not happening again. I'm in a better plan. So hopefully it doesn't come up. Joe, what do you got?
See, that should be mine. I say that every year, and then I forget, and I end up in the same situation. Yeah, this isn't mine, but I did my Christmas shopping. Got lucky. I got done a little bit early Sunday, and biked out to the mall at 4:00.
As
Oh my
planned.
God.
Yeah, dude, 100% real.
Oh.
Bike back home at 5:30, but got it done in the nick of time. That should be my forgotten, but I've touched on this in the past. I'm so damn disgusted with my fantasy play that I'm giving it up. I'm done.
No
made
way.
the call. I've played. It's funny you talk, Taylor. You brought up Leroy's the Lambeau Leap in 93, right? Was that the 30 years? My math correct? Yeah, 30 years. I've been playing fantasy longer than that by damn near 10 years. I remember, in the 80s, our commissioner still, Paul, who does the Appleton Sports page, Paul Lecker, is our commissioner, and he pretty much started fantasy for us, and he used to walk around Appleton West with a notebook, and that's how you would draft. You'd say, this guy's gone.
Yeah.
Who do you want? I'll take this guy. There's no computers or anything. And we'd play baseball and football, and he'd sit in the school library with the old Sporting News and the box scores and calculate
That's awesome.
everything.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I've been playing it a long time, but there's too many other things in life I like. I've had guys, I just haven't paid attention.
Sure.
And I think that's just the true test that it's time to give it up. So I haven't Paul might hear it first here on the NEWSA-Cast. I'm giving up fantasy. I'm done. I gave up baseball a couple of years ago, and I don't know. Football is bye-bye, I think. I think we're done.
I know. You don't have to do very much, though, Joe. You don't really have to do much.
That's just it. See, that's the sad thing. You don't have to do very much, and I can't even do that.
Well, if Paul is listening, Paul, I'm available. I'll take Joe's spot.
Well, there you go. He'll be looking. If you'd like to, you're more than welcome. So it's a good group of guys. And
I did hear Joe say, I think.
Yeah.
So there's always several months here. So we'll see if this actually happens.
Yeah.
Next year's end of the year wrap.
I'm pretty confident in this one. I've been pretty much shedding everything in my life for the most part. I'll keep this going too. And,
I don't know. In one of the earlier NEWSA-Cast episodes, you liked it. You were talking about it, how it was good. So we will see next training camp when that comes around. We'll see how you're feeling.
Yeah, we'll see. But for now, it's forgotten. How about you, Taylor? What's forgotten in your world?
Well, yesterday was Christmas, and obviously the last month has been Christmas season. So I'm going to stick with that theme, like Tosh did. But I'm going to. I want to forget certain Christmas decorations, yard decorations. I know this might divide Northeast Wisconsin into two parts, but I love certain yard decorations. I love lights on houses. I love lights on trees. I love all that stuff. I love classic stuff. What I tend not to like, and this is just my opinion, is I hate the big blow up ones, because they look a little bit out of place to me. In the daytime, they're deflated and they look like they've been popped and they're just kind of all over the yard. They probably won't. To me, they won't last very long. So what's the lifespan of a inflatable thing like that? And I think it was when it was early December, my wife and I went to At Home store over here off of Wisconsin and 41, and we walk in there, and there is literally I think it was a 30-foot Santa blow up one. I was like, this is it. I'm done with this. I was like, this is crazy. No more. Like, can this stuff go away? So I'm forgetting the ginormous inflatable Christmas yard decorations. That's mine.
I think there's more of them this year than ever, isn't there? At least in my judgment, I feel like I've seen a couple of those 30-foot Santas that are as high as the roof.
Yeah. I will respect the heck out of a 30-foot snowman if someone makes that. I think I saw one on Amaro maybe like 10-15 years ago. That stuff's great, like all day long. But the inflatable stuff, that's in my opinion, it's got to go.
Yep. No, I agree with you 100%.
Well, guys, with every forgotten, there's got to be I'm never forgetting. So Tosh, what are you never forgetting?
Well, so we have some nieces and nephews, and this can be any kid's program, but it just happened to be their Christmas program. And just how funny these little kids are, especially like the kindergarten and third grade. There was this kid up there. He was unbuttoning his shirt. As my youngest kid said, my youngest son goes, 15 more minutes, Dad, that kid would have been naked. So just the things that these kids do during these programs, and they're just up there in front of everybody, just like, I don't care. Yeah. It's hilarious. They're so funny to watch. And it's any program. It doesn't have to be Christmas. It can be any kid's program. When you have kids in like 4K, 3K, kindergarten, first grade, that's some great comedic material for sure.
And that their parents probably have that on video, and they're going to see it when they're older. And maybe we lucked out. I don't think. I think when I was a kid, I think maybe my dad had the shoulder mount VHS tape thing, but
Yep.
I think maybe we lucked out and we didn't have everything recorded all the time. But that naked kid is going to have his that video coming out in Christmases to come.
And probably his high school graduation. All right, Joel, what do you got?
Thinking about this episode a little bit and just definitely thankful we're doing it. I have so much fun doing it, and kind of thinking back to just the original idea and why a podcast and just how it came about. And, there's a lot of Barstool, I think, that runs through this, and I've mentioned them a lot periodically through it, but they have been a big influence. I love their content. I really love a lot of what Barstool does. And I hope we kind of took some of the good from them, some of the good structure ideas, and applied it to the NEWSA-Cast. And I think more than anything, just reminiscing and just never really, I don't know if it's a little bit lame to say, but I'm just never kind of forgetting this whole experience. I love doing this podcast, the NEWSA-Cast, the team that we've built, and just kind of the way we work and operate, and And, I tip of the cap to Barstool, and this isn't a Barstool podcast, but I don't know. I love the whole thing that we got going here. So that's what I'm never forgetting.
Good. Well, I'm glad because, if you're having fun, Joe, and you're having fun, Tosh, then we're all having fun. We all get to experience it too. So no, that's great. I don't think mine's as sentimental as that, but maybe comedic, but I'm never forgetting leftovers.
There you go.
I love a holiday when you get to just collect the leftovers from the people that don't want them. If you host it at your house, all of a sudden you got days and days of leftovers.
Yes.
My wife and I, we dig leftovers so much that we don't mind them at all. I'm going to be eating ham for the next 3 days. I mean, maybe if you talk to me, this weekend, maybe I want to forget leftovers. I don't know. But right now I'm digging it. I got Christmas candy in the fridge. I got ham. I got whatever we had over the last 2 days in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna enjoy that. So I'm every holiday's like that. You got 4th of July, you got Thanksgiving, Christmas. I love the leftovers. I know that kind of. There is a division there. I feel like I keep dividing, the populace, but I think most people like leftovers, but I don't know where you guys lay on that.
Oh, 100% leftovers.
Yep, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
It tastes better sometimes the next day or the day after.
Absolutely. You got to let stuff marinate together, marry together.
Yes. Okay, cool. I didn't know where you guys were on that. So I was a little bit like, I'm doing it. So great.
Yeah, I'm the same way though. You're right. By day 4, I've had enough turkey or ham or whatever to last a lifetime, or at least until the next holiday.
Yeah. But I have a short memory, so maybe by the next holiday, I'm like, yeah, bring it on, leftover. Let's go. Well,
absolutely
awesome. So, well, thanks for letting me participate in It's Forgotten, and I'm never forgetting.
And you definitely didn't forget the name, so you did well.
Yes,
you did well.
Don't want to mess that up. I'll leave that to you guys.
Thanks.
I think our first guest too on the segment. I love that.
All right, guys. Well, I guess before we wrap up the show, I wanted to just tell the audience, tell all our fans and our friends and our family how to help us out if they aren't already. I guess the biggest way is to spread the word, recommend this podcast to people that you think might like it. If you have a Fisher person in your family and, recommend the Tight Lines episode to them. Or if you're into local baseball at the Timber Rattler Stadium, we had 2 episodes on that. But I think we've got a little something for everybody in our first 25 episodes. So sharing the NEWSA-Cast with everybody, recommending it to people that might enjoy it would be one great way to help us out, spread the word. Another one is to follow us on social media. Our goal on our social platforms is not only to have fun and to bring you info, but it's also to help inform the people that haven't heard us or would find our interviews fascinating, to be aware of it. So helping us grow on social media is the key to all of that. So if you love an episode, share it on your social media so that your friends and family and people can see that, and then they can decide if it's for them. So doing that, spreading the word helps us continue to grow and just be out there for people to discover us. So we appreciate all that everyone has done to this point, but there's always room for more. So share away.
No, agreed. Yeah, and I think the other key point, and you touched on it too, it is local. We're local. We're northeastern Wisconsin. We're as local as you can possibly get. We talk about local events. We interview people that are local. So that's our niche, really, or niche or niche. I don't know what the right way is to say that word, but you know what I mean. We're that in the Fox Cities.
Yeah, and don't forget, if you this whole podcast was started to continue the Red Smith name and to continue to support local organizations and youth sports, high school students with scholarships going off to college, continue to do those types of things. So, if you're somebody who would like to sponsor, we're always looking for sponsors. If you're somebody who would like to donate, we're always looking to donate. Email us and let us know, and we can get you in touch with the right people through the organization, through the NEWSA organization, to help these organizations as well. So email us at the Gmail that we mentioned earlier, NEWSA-Cast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Hey, that boy.
We'd love to have sponsors if you're interested in sponsoring. We'd love to have donations come in to help that mission as well, and just continue to help us grow.
For us, and we don't have to get into it too much, but obviously, the Red Smith banquet was the fundraiser for NEWSA. That's what, all the proceeds from that banquet went back to youth sports and everything that we've mentioned. As you know, we don't have the Red Smith banquet going right now. It's not to say at some point we're not going to have some live event. I don't think we'll ever have an actual Red Smith banquet anymore, but we'll have something that's even better than the Red Smith banquet. Not sure yet what that is, but we'll do something. But in the meantime, the message and the mission is still the same. It is still helping youth sports. We're hoping this podcast brings awareness to that, kind of keeps a relevancy out there, maybe 365 days out of a year, where the Red Smith banquet didn't always do that. But if you believe in that mission, if you like what we've done with the monies and the missions and over the 57 years, like Tosh said, just shoot us an email. That's probably the best way to get in touch with us right now. We're not set up real well for taking donations. Something we're working on right now, but there is ways to donate to us. And if you're interested in that, shoot us an email. I'd be more than happy to share my phone number with you and talk to you in person as well. So that'd be kind of cool as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's great. And yeah, we always kind of like to come back to that and kind of put the focus on that sometimes. We do have a mission, we do have a goal here. But the NEWSA-Cast itself is a platform we use to bring awareness to a lot of great things in Northeast Wisconsin. So we are glad that you have shared the journey in 2023 with us, and we look forward to 2024, you coming along and bringing all your friends and family too.
Thank you for listening to another great episode of the NEWSA-Cast. We'd really appreciate it if you'd hit up our social pages, subscribe, like, follow, and don't be afraid to engage. Head over to our YouTube channel to get exclusive content like the full interviews and speeches from past Red Smith banquets. Thanks for listening to the NEWSA-Cast. We really appreciate your support. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and tell a friend. A huge thank you to Diggstown for all the music in today's episode. Catch a gig or find them on Spotify. Help us grow by subscribing wherever you get your pods or sharing the NEWSA-Cast. Follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, or Instagram. One of the best ways to help us grow is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Northeastern Wisconsin Sports Advancement is a 501c3 organization. Our mission is to raise money, provide support, and bring greater awareness for youth sports organizations in Northeast Wisconsin. We do this primarily through the Red Smith Sports Award Banquet and the NEWSA-Cast. Each year, we give back to the community through 3 initiatives: the Every Kid Plays Grant, the Gives Back Initiative, and scholarships to student athletes.